The Cold War, a time when the United States and the Soviet Union didn't really fight each other, and yet it's still called a war, even if allies technically fought for them from 1947 to 1999. In this war, there was no clear winner. The end was when Germany and Berlin reunified after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Soviet Union became Russia once more. There's one thing, however, I can't help but think about. Who technically won the Cold War? Let's find out, shall we? I am Addie, and let's find out. Before I go on, I want to say I'm sorry for my cat bulkiness, and today's the worst time for me to lose my voice. Let's find out, shall we?
That's great, it starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes and...
I have 3 points I'm going to talk about. Achievements, effect, and overall impact. I first want to give you a general idea of what's going on during this time. This is just after the end of World War II, and Japan has just surrendered to the US, France, and the British, and eventually the Soviet Union also. New bombs called the Fat Man and the Little Boy, which were both atomic bombs, were developed. They were both used against Japan to make them surrender, actually, and the Great Depression has been over for about 50 years, give or take. With that out of the way, let's talk about the achievements of both sides.
Snakes and airplane, Lady Bruce is not afraid. Eye of a hurricane, listen to your...
Let's start with the U.S. They had multiple achievements, including the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine. What also helps is that they did help lead to the fall of the Soviet Union and the Berlin Wall. However, one thing I should address is the Bay of Pigs invasion. It was an invasion where about 1,400 Cuban exiles backed up by the CIA tried to invade the Bay of Pigs. It tried, to put it simply, turn into bacon. Get it? Bacon? Pigs? No? Okay. Anyway, the Bay of Pigs invasion was a fail, but other events like the space race benefited the US and the USSR. But one thing that really sticks out is that they didn't just help themselves, but they also helped other European countries through the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan, and even tried to stop the spread of communism in the arms race. Okay, let's move on to the Soviet Union. They did have achievements that benefited themselves. They did start the space race by launching the Sputnik, which is Russian for traveler, and putting the first animal into space. It was a dog named Laika. Fun fact, she was actually a mix of Husky and Terrier. However, NASA says she was a part Samoyed Terrier. Search it up. I don't know what it is. There was also the start of the Red Scare, which made the U.S. fear communism. Fun fact, in Hollywood, actors were told to announce their political beliefs. More than 500 people lost their jobs. What seems weird is that the USSR started most of the events when you think about it, like the Vietnam and Korean War. They even won both. With achievements out of the way, let's move on to the effect. Again, let's start with the U.S. The U.S. had a mostly positive effect overall. They did do a lot more good than bad, since they did try and help not just themselves, but also Europe, like communism. They also helped make technology that helped them with space exploration and combat. What also helps is that the U.S. even tried to contain communism, and it worked in some way, actually. Let's move on to the USSR. They had a mostly negative effect, unlike the U.S. It seemed as if the USSR started most of the events, like the Korean and Vietnam War, again. Though they did also help with space exploration, so it wasn't all bad. Finally, let's talk about the impact. Like the rest, the U.S. is first. Just like the effect, the impact was most. I believe the impact at least was mostly neutral. The U.S. did good and bad things. Again, they helped Europe in space exploration, but also proved that both them and the Soviet Union weren't ready to use nuclear weapons as seen in the Cuban Missile Crisis during that time. They both feared retaliation. The Cold War was right after World War II anyway. The world was still recovering after 2 major wars. The same was with the Soviet Union. They had a mostly neutral effect too. No space exploration what made most of the events happen. Again, I just don't see what one event can overpower the rest when it comes to the impact. They both led into history and people still talk about it today. Okay, I looked at each of the events overall, and I gave points to each countries if it benefited them. I also took took each of the points into account as well. Like by points, I mean the effect, the achievements, and the impact. The U.S. got points for the launch of the Explorer 1, putting a man on the moon, the Truman Doctrine, the fall of the Soviet Union, the fall of the Berlin Wall, effect, achievements in the Marshall Plan. The Soviet Union got points for the arms race, Laika going into orbit, Bay of Pigs, Vietnam, the maps they created, being able to identify a real passport from a fake, achievements, and impact. From this, I concluded that the U.S. won 9-8. So I guess this is the end. You can click away now. Go on, do it. If you liked the video, thumbs up, please. Maybe even a subscribe. I may not do many videos like this. This is a one-time exception. I have other videos here also, like dubs and art and gaming, and I'm starting to do reaction videos. If I got anything wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. And also tell me what I can improve on to help me with, if I'm going to do this again, help me, like, give feedback. And if you think otherwise, tell me. I would like to know. And I'll see you later. Lainey, if you're watching this, thank you for helping me with this voiceover and me and dealing with my dumbness throughout this. Bye, I guess, and happy holidays!